Hello, good day everyone. So today is 14 July, so which is Wednesday. So hope you guys hope you guys have a wish you have a good day. Okay. Now so let us take a recap on our previous important economic data. So the first one is U.S. core inflation rate yearly June. So the previous is 3.8% and the forecast is 4%. The actual is 4.5%, which is higher than the forecast and the previous. So which is good news to the US dollar. Okay. So the second previous important economic data is US inflation rate yearly June. Okay. So the previous is 5%. The forecast is 4.9%. The actual is 5.4%, which is higher than the forecast and the previous. So both important economic data yesterday is very good for the US dollar. So let us take a look on our market graph last night. Okay, so for the US index here, we can see that there's a big bullish here of yesterday. There's a big bullish here for US dollar index here on yesterday. So we can all see all the market volatility on the forex major pair. They're all caused by the US dollar index last night. Okay, let's get back to our PowerPoint here. Okay, so the next one is previous day. Let us take a recap on previous day market volatility. So the first one is SAU USD, which is gold. So the market volatility is it declined 100 pips and then rise 160 pips. So let's take a look on our right market graph here. A moment. Okay, so let us take on our right market graph here, which is we can see that the red rectangle here, there's a big market volatility last night here. Okay, let us read the factor what happened on the gold market last night. Okay, so the gold prices were basically flat on Tuesday. Okay, so how they say it how we say it basically flat on Tuesday. So let us take a look on our market graph here on SAU So we take a deep look here on our day one candlestick. Actually, the yesterday is a doji. You can see here, right? It's a doji. Okay, now that's why we say it's basically flat on Tuesday. Now, so at 18 6.28 per ounce in late trading. So as the strengthening of the US dollar offset the support from bets that the Fed is unlikely to tighten their monetary policy immediately. So the US June Consumer Price Index CPI recorded its biggest increase in 13 years. Okay. So the second is WTI crude oil, the previous day market volatility. So the market volatility is rise 180 pips. So as we can see here on our on the market on our right side here, inside the red rectangle here, the market go boost on last night. Okay, so let us read the factor here. So the U.S. oil rose 1.6% on Tuesday to close at 75.25 per barrel. Okay, so the highest settlement price since October 2018. Okay, so the IEA stated a report that due to disputes among OPEC Plus members over production issues, crude oil supplies are expected to significantly tighten. So at the same time, the deadlock in Iran's nuclear negotiations have reduced the possibility of a flood of crude oil supply from the country into the global market. So we can see that there are two factors that cause the WTI price rise up so much on yesterday. So the first one is OPEC Plus member, the dispute among OPEC Plus member. So this one is the first one, and the second one is the deadlock in Iran's nuclear negotiation reduced the possibility of a flood of crude oil supply. So the two factors that caused the WTI crude oil price rise up so much on last night. Okay, so when come to today, what economic data we have to take note and we have to focus on today. So when come to Asia section, there's only one in Asia session. So it's a New Zealand interest rate decision. So it's at 10 o'clock just now. So the previous forecast actually is same 0.25%, which is that didn't change their interest rate at all. Okay. So actually this is still a good news for New Zealand dollar. So let us take a look on our market graph on New Zealand dollar here. Okay, so we can see there's a big rise here, the New Zealand US dollar, okay, the NZDUSD. So a big rise here. This is apparently this one is caused by the interest rate decision. So the New Zealand dollar, they remain their interest rate, which is very good for the New Zealand dollar. That's why the graph here is rise here until here around for 80 pips here. Okay, so let's get back to our PowerPoint. So the second, when come to EU section, and there are only one important economic data in EU section we have to take note. So we have to take focus. So it's the UK inflation rate. Okay, so the previous is 2.1%. The forecast is 2.2%. So the data release time is at 2 o'clock later. Okay, so if higher than expected reading should be taken as positive or bullish for the GBP. So while a lower than expected reading should be taken as negative or bearish for the GBP. Okay, so when come to US section, there are quite a few economic data we have to take notes. Okay, there are three, and this last one is 12 o'clock tonight. Okay, so Fed Chair Powell testimony, which is will bring big volatility, market volatility to the US market. Okay, so we have to take note if any of your client they are trading any instrument regarding US dollar, they have to take note at this time. So 12 o'clock at tonight. Okay, so let us take a look on the first important economic US section economic data today. So the first one is US PPI monthly June. So the previous is 0.8%. The forecast is 0.6%. So the data release time is at 8:30 o'clock tonight. Okay, so a higher than expected reading should be taken as positive or bullish for the US dollar. Okay, while a lower than the expected reading should be taken as negative or bearish for the US dollar. Okay, so the second one is CA, which is Canada. Bank of Canada interest rate decision. This one, so this one will bring a big big market volatility to the Canadian dollar. Okay, so the previous is and forecast is 0.25%. For this time, they are more likely will remain their interest rate decision at 0.25%. Okay, but we still have to take a look on at 10 o'clock tonight. Okay, so if higher than expected reading is higher than expected rate is positive for bullish or for the Canadian dollar, while a lower than expected rate is negative for bearish for the Canadian dollar. So if they remain the same 0.25%, it is still good for the Canadian dollar. So you have to take note. Okay. So the third one is US EIA crude oil stocks change for the 9th July last week. So the previous is negative 6.866 million. Okay, so the forecast is negative 4.333 million. So the actual, the data release time is at 10:30 tonight. Okay, so if the actual is lower than the forecast, which is good for the for the crude oil price. So the actual is higher if the actual is higher than the forecast, which is not good for the crude oil price. Okay, so for today market update, I will keep you update on gold market today. So for the resistance level is 1818 today. So for the support level is 1801 today. So my personal opinion is still considered bearish. Okay, so let us read the market trend factors here, why I will still look take it as bearish for today. So in the context of the sharp increase of the US June CPI, the US June PPI is expected to continue to rise. Okay, so we have to take note that so this one CPI, the sharp increase in the US June CPI, then the US June PPI is expected to continue to rise, which is very good for US dollar. So this one is the first thing. Okay, which will pose another problem for Jerome Powell, who is speaking at tonight. So 12 o'clock. Okay, as I told you just now. So the Jerome Powell will have to face doubts from the market. So and investors will carefully observe whether Powell's dovish stance will change or not, or through their to their QE and also the interest rate decision. Okay, so the US dollar is likely to continue to strengthen, as I said just now. So which means the gold bulls will find it difficult to go up further. Okay, so and it is possible to continue the previous decline in mid-June in the future. Okay, so it is, but we still have to take note on this R1, that means the resistance one here, and also the support line here. Okay, so at present, okay, at present, so spot gold continues to maintain a sideways trend. So once the price of gold closes below the first support level of 1801, okay, so investors need to be more vigilant. So in the days, we will focus on Powell's testimony, US June PPI, and the Reserve Bank of New Zealand interest rate decision. Okay, so that's all for our briefing today. So hope you guys do good. I wish you have a good day and see you again. See you. Bye.